Go ahead.
Yeah, like I mean, just being around you all these years, you feel one way about a game, and then watching film, sometimes your view changes. Did it at all?
It was probably a little better on film than I anticipated. Some of the shots they hit were probably a little more challenged than maybe I gave it credit for live. But we still had too many mistakes that were controllable for us, whether it was late communication or no communication or not attention to detail in the scout report. There were enough of those that we have to clean up.
How was the film session interactive in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, we watched some things that we needed to watch, mistakes that we made. Some of those fouls were really foolish, and we've got to clean those up. And we've been a pretty good vertical team at the rim. We got called for 3 fouls in those situations. One by Jemiah, one by Mason, one by Isaac. So that's something we have to clean up because we've been pretty good at meeting people at the rim without fouling, and so we'll get back to that today.
Like, I think before you guys went to Villanova last year, right around this time, Tom Neptune said it was their Super Bowl just because they needed the win. I don't think Sean is outspoken to say that, but they obviously need a win pretty bad. But how do you kind of put the right mindset to go into that environment? Xavier kind of desperate.
Well, we need a win too. And it's important for us for a lot of reasons, and until we're mathematically eliminated from the Big East title hunt, we got to keep fighting for that. And we're trying to make sure we have as good a seed as we possibly can in the Big East tournament and hopefully the NCAA tournament. So, when you're playing games this time of year, they're all meaningful. They're all going to have a huge impact on what happens next. Obviously, the scenario that Xavier's in, where they need quad 1 wins, it's huge for them, and we understand that. Like going to St. John's or UConn or Marquette or all the other places you go across the league, it's going to be a very difficult place to play, and I think there'll be a little bit more emotion in the building on Saturday because of what's at stake.
You guys have kind of embraced that, though, going into road environments. You struggled early, but then I think you won 5 straight on the road for the St. John's game. What's the key to in places like that?
You can't beat yourselves. If you don't make oftentimes when you make mistakes, it leads to something really good for the opposing team, and that fuels the crowd. So if you want to keep the crowd in their seats, you have to play as mistake-free as possible. And if you make a mistake, a dead ball turnover, we can live with that. It's a live ball stuff. It's a mistake we make on not communicating on a back screen, and you give up a dunk. Those are the things that really get the crowd going, and we're going to have to try to nullify that the best we can. Yeah, I mean, you go back and you look, and there's things that when you put together the first game plan that you thought would work that didn't, and if they didn't work, what do we have to do? What are the counters to that to give ourselves a better opportunity to be successful? And then, then you add a few new wrinkles, and then you try to anticipate what they might do different. That game, neither team defended very well. Both of the offensive efficiencies were relatively high. We were 8 of 10 from the three-point line the second half. So we won that game because we outscored them. I don't know that you're going to go into their building and outscore them. So we have to be better defensively than we were in that game. Now, having said that, at that time, almost 45% of their points were coming from free throws and in transition, and I think they got 23 or 24% against us combined. So we did the job there in the areas that we thought were going to be important, and that's going to be pretty critical on Saturday as well.
It's the key to limiting Conwell's opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be there on the catch. If he has space, it's over. He's one of the elite shooters in our conference. And he cuts with great pace and makes good decisions on when to shoot and when not to. So, we've got to make his life as difficult as possible. And we did a decent job on him at our place, but we still lost him a few times.
I think the last time we played them, they ran a lot of a smaller lineup with 4 guards and then Fremantle at 5. Did playing on Wednesday kind of prepare you for that with the small ball?
Yeah, I mean, they've played a fair amount this year with Fremantle at the 5 and with 4 guards. Now they've also They've also gone big a little bit. Hewley had a big game. I think he's averaging 8 minutes a game in conference. He played 19 against us, hit a couple threes. So we have to kind of be ready for whatever lineup he throws out there. But, Fremantle's a problem because of his ability to space the floor. He shoots the three-point shot to a level that you have to respect it. And then if you crawl up into him, he's pretty good off the dribble, and then obviously he can score on the block as well. So, he's a hard guard for us, but I thought Ryan did a decent job on him the first time.
Looking ahead to next week as well, what kind of challenge does Seton Hall present defensively? And saw that against UConn in recent weeks.
Yeah, they just, Seton Hall doesn't quit. Shaheen's done a great job of kind of bringing that group together. Obviously, a home win against UConn, and they had Villanova down double digits in the second half the other night. So I haven't really turned my attention to that one yet. But those are important games for us. You at this point in the year, you can maybe afford a loss or two to a game that's maybe a coin flip. But you have to try to win the games you're supposed to win. And obviously Seton Hall's playing way better basketball than the last time we played them, and they were without a couple guys last time we played them. So we're going to see them at full strength, and they're going to get our full attention.
The other night, Ryan talked about kind of like matching their desperation in terms of how bad they want this game. How critical is that for your player leadership to have that understanding to take care of that on their own without having to worry about all the basketball stuff?
Yeah, our guys they're smart guys. They know how important this game is to Xavier, and they also understand how important it is to us. We're anytime you can move up a seed line, whether it's the Big East tournament or the NCAA tournament, you do yourself a huge favor. So they get that. They understand how important this is, and we had a good workout yesterday, albeit short, and I'm confident we'll have another one today.
I talked to Cassie Lacy this week, mentioned that one of her favorite parts of her game day experience. What has she brought you guys over the last decade plus?
Well, she brings an enthusiastic approach to the job she does at each one of our games. And her and her mom bring us breakfast once a year at the start of the year, and we get to spend some time with her and her mom. But obviously the smile on her face kind of gets you ready and makes your day pretty good regardless of how it's going. Thank you.
I've got a good one.